Hi everybody, so today what I wanted to do is show you how we use the rice paper USB from Imagination Crafts on Minecraft Studio. So Minecraft Studio was introduced to me only really a couple of months ago, just before the show actually launched on Create and Craft a few weeks ago. And it's so easy to work with and so easy to pick up how to navigate it, how to work all of its features. And I'm only really partway there with it, but just showing you what you can do with this USB is just completely multiplying the possibilities that you can create and what you can do with your projects. So what we've been doing is we've been altering the colours of some of our papers, we've been altering the sizes, the shape, and some shading effects on there. So it's really exciting to see that you can have 50 rice papers on this USB, but if you were to do two different colourways with those papers, you've instantly got 100. So it's really exciting to see how many different variations you can actually create with this. So what I'm going to do first is actually show you Minecraft Studio. As you can see here, we've got this set up on the desktop, and straight away I can see that my USB is straight in as my removable disk on my PC. And what the beauty of Minecraft Studio actually is that it's set up to work as a crafter. So what you see in front of you here, and this is my cutting mat. So I've got an A4 cutting mat, if you like, and all of the surrounding area here on either side of the grid is my desk. So I can drag anything over from my files onto my mat, and I can put it to the side if I don't want to work with it, just as you would a tool or a paintbrush or any of your pens or cutters, and you can drag it onto your mat to use at any point that you would like to. So just to delete that, you can use your undo function, which is just up here, which is taking back the stages, or I can just delete it with the delete button on my keypad. So you can scroll all the way through all your artwork, and you can see all of the designs that we've got on there. And the way that these USBs are actually put together is they're all formed into their colorways. So you can see we go through the pinks to the blues, the greens, we go through some of those cyclamen cerise colours, some beigey natural colours, blues and purples. So all of these rice papers will tie together to create a nice full rounded project, or you can use individual ones on their own. So what I would really like to show you first is I'm going to simply drag this rice paper over here, and it takes just a couple of seconds to come up onto your cutting mat. And you can alter the size of your screen, so I can go all the way up if I want to zoom into some nice detailed areas, or all the way out, because that's sort of like getting a bit of a cluttered cutting mat. You want to be able to see what you're doing, or you can zoom in on where it is you want to cut. So here I've got my paper, I can move it all the way around, and as you can see I've got a grid up here on the grid icon, and this will show me the even spacing of my mat. We've also got a ruler, and this will give me a precise measurement as to how big the area I'm cutting is, or the piece of paper or backing paper is that I'm using. So I can take these elements off if I wish, or if you wanted to, you can keep them on there as a guide. And you can resize these and rotate them, so using the four corners of your paper, using the drag tool, you can just take them down and you can make it smaller so it's easier to work with. And if I match it up into that top left hand corner, we have then got our paper and we can drag that to size. So each time you print from Minecraft Studio, it will always give you a border around your image, so you're not going to lose any of that image on there. So if you're printing it to fit size of A4, you're always going to get a nice border and not lose any of your design work. So firstly, what I'd like to do with this particular design is I want to sort of actually apply this to a canvas. So I want to give a nice faded edge around it. And the reason why I want to do that is sometimes it can be a little harder to go all the way in with your paints to blend the edge in. So if you go over to effects, you will see here I've got a variety here of effects that you can work with. And there's absolutely loads of different ways you can create these images. So what I'd like to do is go down to this section here, which is faded edges. And you can see faded edges is currently on 0, and that's because we've still got our nice crisp sharp edges. So if I start to take this up, you can see it's going down in a rectangular shape, and it will go all the way down to the centre until we're left with nothing. Well, almost nothing. We do still have a slight bit of coloration there. And this can be used in for many different ways. You can use if you want shadow images, or if you just want to cut out certain areas, it might be a little bit easy for you. But the reason I want to do this is so I've taken off the harshness of my edges already there. And if I go down to softer edges, down here, I can take off in a rectangular shape, and you can see it's fading it out, but we've still got left that original edge there. And if I want to take that corner off, I go to the circle one, which is just down here, and take that drag tool, and it will now start to actually give us a circular pattern around it. So you can see already there, if I wanted to apply this onto a canvas or a big card front, I've got a really nice faded in edge. Now, just to show you what that actually looks like printed out, here on the Rise papers, we've got this particular design. And with this one, I've printed it straight from the design itself. So we've not got our faded edges on here. But if I show you this one, picked another design to show you, and it's just so easy to create this effect. So here I've got my Rise paper, and this is giving us our border around the edge that we get with Minecraft Studio. And then as we take this away, we're then left with that Rise paper that's got the blend. I'll turn this around and show you. It's got the blend and it gives it a nice faded edge. And then as soon as we apply that to a canvas or card, turn it round, you'll see that all the effort has been taken out for you having to paint that in. So you instantly get a faded edge, and it's so easy to achieve. So at first glance, if you were to look at this, you'd instantly assume I've spent quite a while with paint knocking this back with my gesso to get that graded effect, which you can do, which is fine to do. But some people, like myself, if you're a little bit unconfident on how to do that, or you feel like you might be too heavy with the paint, you can do this, and Minecraft Studio will help you to do that. So it's a really useful tool to use on the software. So another thing I'd like to show you with this is you can resize your images as well. So if I go straight back into Minecraft Studio, we go back to files, and this will give me all my papers again. And if I just go onto my image, so it's highlighted, press delete, I can get rid of it, just like that. I may have printed this one, and now I want to work on my next one. So what I want to do now is actually go through a different design and a different technique. So I'm going to take Rise paper number 5, and I've chosen this design because I've got some really strong elements in here. So instantly I'm drawn to this rose image that we've got here, and what I'd like to actually do with this is just pick out that image so that I don't have to print the whole Rise paper every single time. And the way that I do that is I go to my crop tool, and the crop tool does exactly what it says, and it will pick out part of the design that you wish to keep or a part that you want to get rid of. So I'm going to take the crop tool and then go over my image and drag it over just like that. As you can see, it's frosted over all of the page, and the area that I'm keeping is the full resolution that's coming through. So if I then release my finger off the cursor, you can see it's got rid of all the rest of the design. And it's not confirmed just yet, and as you can see, I've chopped a little bit of the leaf off here. So if I go to my side square here and drag it ever so slightly out, it's still going to reveal that bit of design. And when you're happy with the way you've cropped it, you can then confirm and continue with your next step. So what you do to do that is go straight to OK and confirm, and that image is now cropped. So I can move it around, make it different sizes, and it's not going to reveal the rest of the design. So if I drag this up into my top corner here, the top left hand side, and use my cursor in the far corner, I can then drag it to make this design extremely large. So I've gone from a small rose to a really big design, and you can make it even smaller if you wanted to. So if you wanted to keep it as a small image just like that, you can keep it the way it is, and you could even get a repeat pattern by going to your tile feature just up here, and as you go across, you've then got more of the same design, and you can print all of those roses and make a full page of them. How amazing is that? So if I go back to my original one, which was just down here, so you can take it straight back up, go back off the tile feature, and make my design as big as I want to. And then as soon as you've printed that out, which I've done here for you just to show you, we've got the rose printed just here, and you can see the sheer size of that. It's amazing. And as we've made it bigger, it's not blurred the image, so we've still got a really nice, beautiful design that can be used on something that's the main focal point of your project. And as I've cut it out here, you can see we've got all the elements nicely cut out of the Rise paper, and you could print this on cardstock or vellum, whatever medium you would like to use and that your printer will accept. You can use it on all those different materials, and you can see here that I can then use this now to put on fabric, to a canvas, all those different other surfaces, and it's meant that I don't have to use all of the design each time, but I can pick out certain elements that I choose to use on my projects. So I just want to show you some finished samples that we had on the show, and these are created using those very simple techniques that I have just showed you, and I will be showing you how to develop on those techniques and show you different effects as I learn to master those as well. So what I've got here is I've got a canvas, and what I did was I did the fade-in effect around the rice paper, applied it to the canvas, and then added a little bit of yellow paint and gesso into the corners, and that just complemented the inside colours of the design. And then with your USB and all those other designs, you can cut out and decoupage up all of those elements to create a really nice sample. Now, I'm really happy with this. It looks absolutely stunning. You've got all these different elements that you've layered up, and you don't necessarily have to always print it onto rice paper if you don't want to. You can print it onto cardstock, whatever sort of mediums that your printer will take, whether it's acetate or vellum, you can print onto all these different mediums to create different effects. So I've printed this onto cardstock, some of them I've printed onto rice paper and layered them onto cardstock to give them the strength to be able to then to be foam padded and decoupaged up to give us 3D depth. And also, we've incorporated some dies into this one. So we've got our actual frame die, and what I've done here is you can actually see that the flowers are from the original design, and the way that they have been designed on this USB is that you can cut elements out and lay them up as if they are a die on their own. So you get the petals that get deeper and large raised from the surface as you're using them, which is an amazing feature. So thank you very much for watching the video. I'll be showing you more techniques on Minecraft Studio with the rice paper USBs coming up as I learn with them as well. Thank you.